to adapt to each situation.
Team Ministries with Tom Hardiman and Al Wood, a special edition created for MorningStar partners.
Well, welcome back to our series on team ministry. We have certainly enjoyed being with one another. We're hoping that you're enjoying our talks and some of the principles that we're extracting from our athletic experience. Again, I'm Tom Hardiman. This is Al Wood. We're both members of the staff here at MorningStar and have enjoyed working under Rick Joyner and the team here that has been working together for several decades. There's just a whole wealth of information and experience and principles that we have watched happen to make our team successful here. And so one of the areas we want to begin with, Al, in this session is a twist of one of the Beatitudes. And it goes like this: blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. So roles on the team change periodically. Have you ever been challenged like that before?
Well, I tell you, one of the most incredible things that I learned from Coach Smith is that he has a plan of what he wants to do, but when something happens to throw all that off, then what do you do?
Yeah.
So you got to be adaptable. You got to be able to adapt to each situation because things are constantly changing, and when things are constantly changing, if you don't change with them, that's not to say that you get away from your core belief. You don't change from your core belief, but you got to be able to adapt to make sure that you stay ahead of the curve in order for you to have success on long-term goals.
Periodically within a team.
All the time.
And if you can't adjust to your changing role, it can affect your attitude, which affects the whole spirit of the team. And so there are times that I've observed Jesus's team, and the roles changed periodically within the team. And at one point, Peter's going to be the main guy that Jesus is talking to, but he wasn't the ultimate guy that Jesus confided in. And so there could be this jealousy that happens because there's a shift in the attention that a team member gets or exposure that they have. And so unless you're flexible, you really can't have the success that's going to be required for you to have in terms of a long-term involvement on a team.
One of the things that a great leader will do, he will sit down with each individual and he'll talk about their personal ambition. What is it that you want to accomplish personally? And if the personal goals that that individual desire to achieve, if the leader don't think that could happen within the team concept, then most of the time the leader will change his personnel. Yeah. He'll be able to make changes for his personnel. He's not saying you are not able to achieve those personal goals, but what he's saying is those particular goals cannot be achieved within this particular team concept. So a lot of times the leader is looked upon sort of as the, maybe the bad person a lot of time because he's the one who have to cut players. He's the one who have to give players a lesser role than what they think they should have. So all those things have to come from that leadership position in order for the team to be successful.
As I went from one level of achievement, high school, college, and then the Olympic team, my role altered considerably in each one of those experiences. One of the things that I feel is important for these changing roles that people have is at times you may be the go-to guy, but at times you may not be the go-to guy. And I've had this saying about teams, and particularly in spiritual stuff, as people have higher levels of exposure, sometimes you need to learn to sit the bench. because you are not the main guy. And the attitude that you portray when you're not the main guy can really either color the team in a bad way or have you contribute in the fashion and the place that you're at.
One of the key things is, what attitude does a person have once they've been relegated to the bench? Right. What kind of attitude are they possessing now? Do they still have the attitude of cheering for their teammates or really encouraging their teammates? Or will they sit the bench and be pouting and then mess up the entire chemistry of the team? So again, it goes back to attitude. You got to have a good attitude, because if you don't have a good attitude, that also can have a negative effect on the team.
To learn more about MorningStar Partners, please visit mstarpartners.org.
I'm going to make a personal reference here, and you know this well because you coached my son when he played here for MorningStar's team at Comenius School of Creative Leadership. And he was your star player for a couple of years.
Yes.
When he went on to play college basketball, he wasn't getting quite the playing time that I thought he should get, that he thought he should get. And you know this, when you're playing in college basketball, there are comp tickets that you get as parents, or they can give it to their parents or their friends or whatever. And I used to sit right behind the bench when my son would be playing college. And his college coach was not the best example of what we would call a quality leader. And most of the way that he corrected people was through cussing. And I was getting particularly frustrated with the amount of playing time that he wasn't getting. But I felt like the Lord gave me some insight. And I said to him, Mike, there's an awful lot that you can learn while you're sitting the bench. And you can learn some things by learning what not to do, as well as learning what to do. And I said, you need to take good notes, because yourself, you might be a coach one day.
Well, it's very important. I think in all situations, the Lord can speak to us. So the question is, are you really hearing what he's saying, or are you angry? Because if you are angry, being angry can take you out of the zone. Yeah. So you don't need to really get angry in terms of blocking up your hearing. It's very, very important that you're able to hear what the coaches is saying, and then many times as we relate this to spiritual aspect, is what the Spirit is speaking to you and what the Spirit is trying to say to you, because what you are actually going through is preparation for something else down the line. Exactly. Yes, it's very, very important. I used to tell my daughters, I had one daughter that was the manager of the team. She didn't play. And so what I had told her, get yourself a notebook, and you need to take notes. Yeah. You need to take notes of what the coaches are doing in practice, what are the coaches are doing for special situations. You need to know all that, because one day you're probably going to end up coaching because you love sports. Yeah. And when you are prepared, you're going to be successful. So make sure you get yourself a notebook, take all the notes, and from everybody, watch everybody, even the other teams, when they warm up, watch what they do in their warm-up drills. And if you do all that, then eventually you're going to be able to put your own package together. That's not to say that you're going to do exactly as the coach you're currently playing for, or coaches that you're watching, but what you're going to do is you're going to be able to look and see which teams are successful, which teams are not successful. So you can glean from all of it, and then you can put your own program together.
You know, just to follow up with my son, the story, when I told him to take good notes, just like you told your daughter, he did take good notes. And he came back here at MorningStar to coach the basketball team, the K through 12 school, the high school team. And previously, you went on to be the principal of the school. but the athletic program, the basketball program, didn't have the success that it had under you. And so he was trying to redeem that aspect of our school. And the previous year, they had very few wins. But when he stepped in, he was able to take them and make them conference champions again, several years. But the thing is in the moment that he was in, he would have much preferred to be a player, but he learned more in that aspect of his life. So when we're talking about blessed are the flexible, there are aspects or places where God hides you or puts you aside. And if you take advantage of the moment where you're not the prominent person, you can learn something that God's trying to teach you in a moment where you're just not really all that illustrative in terms of the exposure that you have.
Well, Michael was very passionate about what he was doing. I watched a few games when he was at UNCG, and from the time the team came out to warm up, Michael was so excited and so forth. He was just so blessed, and he was honored, and he felt great about the opportunity to play college basketball, because to play Division I college basketball is a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so few people get the opportunity to play compared to the number of people that try to play. So he was one of those who was able to achieve that goal to play. So again, that type of passion that you have is very contagious. And I know the other players respected him tremendously just by the way that he conducted himself on a daily basis, considering the fact that he didn't play in the games that much.
Yeah. You know, again, we're talking about going to different levels, higher levels of experience, higher levels of exposure. For people that are on teams, ministry teams, one of the things that we've had to adjust to here at MorningStar is you're not always the star player.
Right.
Sometimes you're off, and you have to do what you have to do in terms of the contribution that you make in an excellent fashion in order to contribute to the overall goal of the team. And I feel in the days to come, the church and the teams that are responsible for leading church ministries, those church teams are going to grow, and it's going to cause individuals that are participating at a higher level to make adjustments, or else they just simply won't be able to contribute the way that God would have them contribute.
It goes back to what we talked about in terms of preparation. If you have been preparing on a daily basis of when the opportunity arises for you to be able to step into the spotlight, so to speak, or get into the game or perform, then you'll be ready. And you won't be shocked, and you won't be anxious and so forth. You'll be ready. So I would say to all those people who are listening to us right now, God has a plan, a perfect plan for every individual who will listen to what we're saying right now. So the opportunity for you to be able to show what you've been working on, it has not arisen yet, but it will eventually. Just don't stop working on it. Continue to work on it. Continue to make preparation, because you never can tell. You'll be the very one to lead a person to the Lord that you least expected if you've been making preparations.
So as we close this session, just remember this in terms of making adjustments. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. Thanks for listening.
To learn more about MorningStar Partners, please visit mstarpartners.org. Scan the QR code or text the word partner to 3524 800 800.